Good morning once again. Welcome to Fulsome Friday. And today's topic I know is of interest to all of us, correct? So, from everything that we have been building up together in the past weeks with our recitations, this one topic, has been there topmost in the mind of many of us. That we are working with so much, we do so much, we are releasing so much, we are understanding so many new things, or letting go of so many new aspects. But what do I do? And it all centers around anger. So today, I would like to shift the focus from how do I control anger to something more deeper. And that would be, what is anger trying to protect that love is trying to heal? This is very much in synchronicity with Redikall. And what is anger trying to protect that love is trying to heal? So I wrote purposely in the topic that demon, but I wouldn't call anger the demon throughout the session. We will discover that the demon was never anger itself. It was our unconsciousness. Unconsciousness, not consciousness. Okay? So actually today we are going to follow a very radical format, that moving from, let's say, from the mind to the emotion, to the body, to the soul and consciousness onwards as a transformation. Okay? So the demon, which we call anger, or is it simply a messenger? Right? So before we speak about anger, I want to ask you something. Don't answer aloud. Just listen and think about it yourself, and maybe we can answer after that, right? When was the last time you became angry? Not irritated, not annoyed, angry. What happened? Who was there? What were the words that were spoken? Okay? So I repeat that when was the last time you became angry? Not irritated, not annoyed, just simply angry. What happened then? Who was there? What words were spoken? Think about it. Now, something even more important. What part of you felt threatened? Okay? At that point when this happened. Was it your respect? Your control? Your love? Your image? Or your expectation? Or was it something much older that lived inside you, festering inside you for a number of years? Yeah? Now take one deep breath to really bring it all back and just tell me the thing that you felt was threatened. Was it your respect, your control, your love, your image, your expectation, or something festering over years which just came out? Just let me know quickly in the chat or here. Otherwise,
Can I? Misunderstanding.
yeah, misunderstanding.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
So I three things that came to me, and that was ego, expectation, and image. All
Right.
three
Awesome. Yeah.
at various times.
Okay. So let's see what the others are writing in the chat. Sharon said respect. Neeti said mixed understanding. Ruby, expectation and respect. Okay, great. Yeah. So these, and what else is coming? Control and expectations, said Yamini. Right. So these things have been there. Now, let that memory and those what came up remain with you. Okay? Because today, that memory and that what came out of it will become your teacher. All right? So, I've often wondered, why is it that every spiritual tradition speaks about anger? Any spiritual tradition. Not because anger is sinful, but anger is expensive. Why? It costs us relationships, it costs us health, it costs us sleep, it costs us presence, and eventually it costs us ourselves. Yeah? How many of you agree with me on this? Hands up, today is your Fulsome Friday, Action Day, Activity Day, Ruby's here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, everybody gives a thumbs up for that. Awesome. So we understood, it costs us health, relationship, presence, sleep, everything, and ultimately ourselves, right? But what if anger isn't the problem? What if anger is only the alarm system, right? Why do I say that? Let me take a metaphor for it. So when the smoke alarm rings, we don't rush to the alarm. We look for the fire, don't we? Right. And yet in life, what do? We spend years trying to silence the anger without even asking what is burning inside me. Does that make sense? Yeah? I think you need to keep your icon thing on so that at least the reactions will keep telling me that I'm on the right track. I'm not expecting maybe answers, but at least keep that on. Okay? So we spend years trying to silence the anger without ever asking what is burning inside me. So today, let's stop fighting the alarm. Let's together discover that fire. Okay? So, first of all, let's put the mirror in front of us. And instead of asking who made me angry, ask yourself what inside me became available for anger. Would anybody like to say something on this? Not who made me angry, but what inside me became available for anger. We're all Redikall students here. We've studied and understood so much about Redikall. Let's try and reflect on this. What inside me became available for anger? Anyone? Remember?
Ma'am, for me,
Yeah, Niti, bolo.
I mostly find that this comes up so many times that I'm misunderstood, and all of a sudden I know everything, so many therapies and everything, and still एक दिन buzzer ऐसा, and when you don't get anybody, then somebody just misunderstood and we shouted like, you said this, and I was like, you said this.
Yeah,
So then I realized that maybe somewhere I am misunderstanding myself.
absolutely.
And that is why outside this is coming.
Exactly. So that is true. So what is inside me that became available for anger to enter? Now Sharon has written insecurity, anxiety, the need for safety, to feel safe. Awesome, awesome. Right. So remember, every emotion in our life Every emotion needs permission. Anger cannot enter when awareness is already present. Then anger will never enter you. It enters when? Where unconscious or old festering wounds still have ownership. Those wounds could be caused by trauma, by behavior, by misunderstandings, by so many other factors. But those are all wounds, right? And they're still owning you. They are the ones that are ruling your life. So that is why this becomes something. So remember, one of the deepest understandings that we need to understand, no one inserts anger in us. People activate what already exists inside us. That isn't blame. It is empowerment. Whose? Because it already exists within me. I also possess the power to transform it. But do I do that? No. I play along with it. I give it more power to make me feel more egoistic, more powerful, more in control, more in, I don't know, that I'm the one who knows it all. And making others maybe feel small, or thinking that retaliation is the best form of defense. So I think I've given one example very often in the group, and that is, you are sitting quietly, maybe reading a book or doing something, anything, and one in your relationship comes up, or something that has maybe gone wrong or didn't work out, and they start shouting at the top of their voice, shouting at you, and you're just looking at them, wondering for a moment, what the hell, why are they saying all this? So you just keep quiet, and you're, being quiet, not calm, being quiet upsets them further, and they shout more. So what happens? That energy is constantly coming at you. And remember, this energy is also there inside us, this consciousness. So what do? Slowly we start boiling inside. And then we boil further. And then what do? We lash out also. We lash out. Now what has happened? It has become a slinging match. Maybe it goes further into some kind of unfortunate situations, physical situations, etc. can also happen. What did you do? You made the other person's anger your own. You acknowledged it, and then you embraced it. And that is why it surfaced, because it is there inside you too. Sitting, which was there maybe, and all of us have it. We have all those files, as I talk to every student, we have files of everything inside our subconscious. Anger, love, hatred, possession, respect, disrespect, helplessness, you name it, they're all there. Grief. But if they're closed, why do we need to feed it and fill it up, with something that is not needed? Like they say, cancer cells are there in all of us. We all have it. So this is also a form of unwanted, I won't call it cancer, but you know what I mean. Unwanted file. Why open that folder? Okay. So now I'm going to write some sentences in the chat. Wait, where is it? Give me a second. All right. So I've written these sentences. Now I want you to finish these sentences. The people who irritate me usually what? You can choose all or you can choose one of them. The behavior I cannot tolerate is. The words that trigger me instantly are. This I want everybody to answer. And the injustice that hurts me most is what? Okay, one more. I forgot. This is the person who still occupies emotional space in me is. Wait, where is it? Have I sent the sentences to you? No, I haven't. All right. Paste. Right. So I have written the sentences. These are the people who irritate me usually. The behavior I cannot control is. The words that trigger me instantly are. The injustice that hurts me most is. And the person who still occupies emotional space in me is. Give me the answers. Anyone? Nobody has anything to say? No, are you there? Or am I muted?
Hi, Aarti. I think the behavior that I cannot tolerate is rudeness. I think if someone is rude with me or around me, that kind of automatically just triggers me. So
Okay.
that's something I cannot absolutely tolerate.
Right. And what about the words that trigger me instantly? Anybody for that one? The words that trigger me instantly? Okay, what?
Blame.
Yeah, words don't come to mind. Sorry.
Okay. Sharon,
For
you're
me, it's
listening?
blame.
Sorry, what's Seema?
Blame, blame, blame.
Blame. Blame. Okay. So,
Yes, ma'am. Anxiety also.
uh-huh. Okay. Keep saying. It's okay. So let me read in the chat. Sharon says that what irritates me is not doing their job. What triggers you is okay, not sure. So injustice, being unkind, and arrogance. Yeah, these trigger Srividya. Niti says rude or abusive words of blame. All right. So emotional space, there are many people in that emotional space. Jasina says what makes her angry is mistrust, miscommunication from closed ones. And Srividya's trigger is lying. All right. So, do you notice one thing? What do all your answers have in common? Shalu says yelling at high pitch. Okay. Do you realize there is something very common in all of these? Niti says felt unloved. Okay. So what is the common thing in all this? They are all pointing back at you. You don't like this. You don't, whatever, feel unloved. You feel, you don't like the triggers of lying, etc. You don't like it. They're all pointing back at you. Okay? So this is where we understand that it already lives inside us. I possess the power to transform it, as I said earlier. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. This is our shadow self actually, our behavior pattern.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now today we are aware of it. Let's see how we can work on it, all of us. So let's also try to understand it because I really like to focus on chakras, right? So let's try and understand it from the chakra perspective. Let's discover that anger doesn't sound the same in every chakra. You know that, don't we? So is there anything else in chat? No, it's not. So it doesn't sound the same in every chakra. When we say in the root chakra, it's the root chakra, we say, I don't feel safe. So what is happening here? Anger becomes survival. That's why you say, I don't feel safe. So you fight, or you defend, or you attack, right? So these are the factors. Anger is the reason you fight, or you defend yourself, or you attack, because you don't feel safe, and that's your root chakra. When we are at the sacred chakra, I don't feel valued, correct? What happens here? Anger becomes emotional drama. And what does it lead to? It leads to withdrawal. It leads to passive aggression. It leads to punishment. Punishment either to self or to others. That's the anger. Yeah? Next, when we are at the solar plexus, how does anger manifest? I must be right. Anger becomes control. So what does it lead to? It leads to dominance, perfection, competition. Do any of these words resonate with all of us? Can I have some indicators, people? Today you're very silent on a few. My audience does not like me today. How sad. Yeah. Please show the participation. I know it's more one way today, but at least I know that the response is, or it's reaching out to what, the intention is. So we've done solar. Now let's go to heart. At heart, it says, I loved, but I wasn't loved back. What has happened here? Anger becomes hurt. Anger becomes disappointment. Anger becomes resentment. So do we have these feelings in us? We do. It may not just be with a person. It could be with scenarios. It could be with situations. It could be with work. It could be with anything. So that is the anger festering inside us, because because we are hurt, we are disappointed, or resentment. Nina, so sweet. Yes, Nina, the recording will also be available. This is a safe recording today, and it will be there. You can listen to it again. So you can also participate, don't worry. Okay? Throat. What happens at throat? I never said what I needed to. So what happens here? Anger becomes silence, withdrawal, or anger becomes shouting. Nothing in between. Either it's silence or it is shouting. Both become part of that aspect. That's what anger manifests itself as. Let's go to the third eye. Third eye is vision, right? Implementation and vision. My story is the only truth. What happens here? Anger becomes judgment. Anger becomes assumption. And anger also becomes certainty. It's only this and it cannot be anything else. It expresses itself in these forms. It doesn't have to be shouting all the time. Just remember that. So it's not just about shouting and screaming and showing your anger. All the factors that I have presented just now are actually symptoms and cover, the cover. Like a book has a cover. So it's the cover for anger. All right. Now let's go to the crown chakra. What happens here? I've forgotten who I truly am. So what has happened here? Anger becomes separation. Anger shows up as victimhood, becoming the victim. And anger also loves to shift to blame others. That's at the crown chakra, because I've forgotten who I truly am. So I feel separated from the others. That's a form, either I've chosen it or circumstances, I'm trying to teach them a lesson. They will learn. Right? Or you just decide to give away something, not out of awareness that no, this should not be a part of me, but because you feel it, because you're a victim and you want to blame someone for whatever else is happening in your life. Okay? Any thoughts, anything that you'd like to share here, anyone? I've talked too much right now. So tell me, which chakra has been speaking through your anger? Let's have answers to that. Which chakra has been speaking through your anger? Anyone?
I think, ma'am, we traveled all the chakras.
We've traveled all the chakras, and you mean that some portions of all that is still inside all of us?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else would like to say, where do you think your anger has been speaking to you through? Which chakra? Heart and throat for me. All right. Yamini says heart and throat for me. So heart was, what was heart? Throat was, I never said what I needed to. So silence or shouting, nothing in between. And heart was, I loved, but I wasn't loved back. So there's a lot of hurt, disappointment, resentment. Yeah, thank you for that, Yamini. Anybody else would like to say something about which chakra is dominating them? Neeti says crown, throat, and heart. All right.
Heart and throat.
Heart and throat. Chalu says same as Yamini, I assume that is heart, throat. Neeti says crown and throat and heart. All right. All right. Great. That's good. Now, so now what I want you to do, and you all do this exercise, please. Breathe into your chakras, not to remove it, simply to acknowledge it. All the 7 chakras, breathe into them. Just to acknowledge the chakras. If you want to say, you can say, I see you, I feel you, I love you, to each chakra. Let's start with root. Just say it. Sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. Take a deep breath. Any responses, any reactions? Anyone? Anything you felt while saying this to yourself?
I find it interesting that my anger was at my throat chakra. In fact, I got up this morning before coming on the line and I was coughing a lot. I was wondering what I was coughing for. I don't have a cough, nothing happened. Now I understand why.
So you said, I see you, I feel you, I love you.
Yes, felt a lot better for it.
Awesome. Anyone else would like to share with this little exercise that we did? Any responses? Carry people, this is not a recitation. It's a participatory. Every time it can't be quizzes and fun. Sometimes we have to learn, correct? Anyone else would like to add?
Solar and throat, because there's stored anger and unspoken, So it's solar and throat.
You feel any, after saying it, did you sort of feel that you're kind of pampering it?
I do know it,
Hmm.
but and I've been working on it also. But abhi
Okay.
hai remaining.
That's okay. That's okay. But at least the awareness is there now, no? That you need to.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, the solar and the throat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else before I move to the next part? All right. So at this point, let's see what the soul, because we've understood where these angers are coming from at every chakra level also, right? What are the kinds of anger that we're storing inside us? So I'm going to put some questions in the chat. Yeah. Please. All right. So I have put these questions. Every time anger appears, now this is the soul's questions. Every time the anger appears, just ask quietly, what am I protecting? What expectations did I create without communicating? Which wound feels recognized? What lesson refuses to leave until I learn it? And if my higher self answered instead of my ego, what would it say? These are the 5 questions. Let's say, just imagine the soul asking you. Because remember, all these questions move you away from the blame towards consciousness. So from that unconsciousness, you are moving towards consciousness. And consciousness is where the healing begins. We understand that. We do a lot of R5s, we do a lot of other statements, and then we come back, as Neeti said, with the same situation again and again. So ask yourself quietly, what am I protecting? What expectation did I create without communicating? Which wound feels recognized? What lessons refuse to leave until I learn it? And if my higher self answered instead of my ego, what would it say? Yeah. I'll write these questions in the seekers group also. But from this right now, any perspective, anybody would like to share their own perspective, what they understand from this? There are a lot of people. Yeah, Sharon.
I was going to ask you, can you give us an example?
So you want me to give you an example of, you see, we talked about at the chakra levels, the kind
Right.
of angers that have to come up. Okay, now somebody said about throat chakra, etc. That is silence or shouting. Let's take that example, So
Okay.
if I have to say what lesson refuses to leave until I learn it, so why is it coming up again and again in my space? Why do I have to keep silent? I am keeping silent because there must be some reasons. Because he doesn't do this. That one, insulted me. This part of my life, who does he think? He thinks he's greater than me. It could be many factors. So if I recognize, it is happening because I feel if he's not bending, I will not bend. If he's not doing it, I will not do. So who's behaving over here? It's your solar, it's your ego. Nothing to do with the throat also, but it's forcing the throat to keep silent. So the ego sitting at the solar is actually the one who's controlling literally your behavior into either silence or resulting in the best form. Offense is the best form of defense. So shout. So what is the lesson that I have to learn? I have to let go of my ego. I have to deal and understand what my ego, I don't need it. I'm okay to be vulnerable. I'm okay to be balanced. I'm okay to be aligned. I'm okay to see perspectives of others too. So till you learn these lessons, it will keep happening in your life. The situations which trigger your silence or shouting will keep happening in your life. It could be at the heart level also, the heart chakra. I love, but I did not get love in return. So I'm not going to talk. Ultimately, it's the ego. So all of us know it, we sometimes joke about it. I gave him the silent, what is it called? The silent
Silent treatment.
treatment. Yeah. I feel very happy about it. I gave the silent treatment. Really? What was it feeding? Your ego. Does that make sense, Sharon?
It makes absolutely sense on a conscious level. But what happened to me recently, my son had to be hospitalized. He just had he's running to bathroom basically, so dehydration. Gave him the ORS, it didn't work, so I took him to the emergency. They put him on an IV, which is normal. And then they asked us to move him to a room. I said, okay, fine. We moved him into a room and we obviously gave him a single room so that he'll get, because he hadn't slept for the previous night. And we had a lot of problems with the nurses because, they put that stuff in, like IV they put, and then every time she put an injection, it was hurting my son. And then they had to change the hand and we had to call the doctor. Then where he was running to bathroom in a 30-minute gap, that's the reason why I took him to the emergency. After the doctor came at about 12-ish, he started running to bathroom every 5 minutes. So, and then we asked that, okay, can you sort it out? Because the doctor I don't know the doctor per se. He's not taking my call. So kept on telling the nurses, they kept saying, we have to wait till Sir comes on his rounds. I said, Sir comes on his rounds only once a day, and that's 12 o'clock tomorrow. Now, what am I going to do? Please help, please help. Just see what you guys can do. And he finally, the doctor supposedly came on his call and gave him Imodium, which initially I told me, I'm never going to give your son Imodium. Okay, that was also okay. Then I had to leave that night. So I told the nurse, my son had sort of stabilized, his emotion had stabilized. And I told the night nurse to speak to the morning nurse or the day nurse to speak to the night nurse, just let him get some rest. That next morning, all the after being spoken, the nurse woke him up and said, you have to have a sponge and da 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 da. The next morning, the night previous, I'd spoken to the next day. I said, this is what happened. He's got no test, no nothing. You're just keeping him in. You're doing a whole lot of rest. I'm not objecting to anything, but please let him have his rest. Next morning, I come. The technician decides to come and do a blood test at 6 o'clock in the morning, which is not really required. And this carried on. So I was very upset. I went to make the payment to the thing, and I saw, okay, manager for something. So I went and spoke to him. Then he told me this is not right. If your son, the only thing your son was asking for was rest, and he's not getting rest, why? He called all the nurses and spoke to the nurses, and then he said, you can give it to us in writing also, and we will take necessary action. And so I sent an email to them, and nobody replied. But it takes time. This is a long, big hospital. Also, it'll take time. So I left it at that. Then finally, my son stabilized, and we took the Emirates flight in. That night, it was a 9 o'clock flight. 6 o'clock, we arrived in the airport. 6:30, we gave in our luggage, and we went to the business lounge, and we were sitting over there right through till the announcement came to board the flight. So the announcement came to board the flight. We went to board the flight, and they said, "Oh, are you Sharon Montero?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm Sharon Montero." Your luggage has been ripped apart. The first pocket has been ripped apart. We've been trying to get through to you. And that was my son's luggage. So my son got upset and he said, you should have informed us. No, first my son said, what action have you taken? Oh, we haven't done it. My son said, did you put some tape on it? Did you put a cloth on it? Did you bubble wrap it? Did you put anything on it? So it's not ripped. No, we let it go absolutely ripped with all the contents. I lost it by that. First, I told them, I said, I'm asking you very nicely, why didn't you all do something? They said, oh, we needed you. I said, because Calcutta airport is a tiny airport. So the gate and the lounge is just in the same square, literally. One is upstairs, one is downstairs. The only thing when they make announcements, it's glass, so you can't hear it. So the
Cut it
person comes
short, cut
upstairs
it
and makes
short,
you.
cut it short. It's going too
Yeah.
long.
So the long story short is that they find, with my son being in the situation that he is, just come out of the emergency 2 days. I informed them about the meal, give us a bland meal. This guy, he was refusing to accept that he had done wrong. He kept on saying, "Y'all are wrong. Y'all did not hear the thing," and he kept on blaming us. And I
Okay,
said, "I'm
how
in
did
the
it make
business
you feel?
lounge."
How did it make
So
you feel?
the bottom line is, in the end, he told us, "You take it or leave it. I'll upload. I'll remove your baggage, and you stay at the airport till the next flight, 9 o'clock the next morning." So that made me, and that's what I said. It was interesting because it was me shouting at them. It
Right.
was radical.
So
Had
it
gone out of
was
my brain. I
very
was
clearly,
angry.
it was your solar plexus at work because, as I said, in every aspect, you wanted, perfection. You wanted, actually, it was a way of
I
God.
wanted service. I just wanted them to say your bag got ripped and we've put a bubble wrap on it. That's all.
No,
But all
that
they were doing was
again,
defending
again,
themselves.
again, again, something happened, fine. So you started judging them also. Now look, and there was a lot of resentment. So all these things, look, we have to look within ourselves. Fine,
Hmm.
something has happened. Okay, fine. Okay, how are you going to compensate for it? What are you going to do about it? Etc. Hospital, what happened was, you see, you go to any hospital, anybody who's admitted, agreed, you may say you want rest. Now they are on rote. They do their work and they have their times fixed. By this time, all the blood tests should be done. By this time, all the food should be given. Whether you're hungry, you're not hungry, they come and put the food. They come and do the test. They wake you up at 5 o'clock in the morning, etc. That happens. Agreed.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I
So
agree. My whole thing was, even at the airport, Aarti,
yeah.
I only asked them one thing: what have you done about the bag?
Mm.
What have you done about the bag? But they kept on telling us we couldn't touch that. You were nowhere to be seen. You were nowhere to be seen. I said, business class. When you go into the business lounge, you have to show your car, boarding card. So by default, I am in. Then they said we came to the business lounge. I said, if you came to the business lounge, there were 10 people in the business lounge. Very difficult not to see me, and that even I wear red.
Mm.
So it was like, I'm asking this, we are looking at patterns. So I was looking at this pattern as to how this was, I was, getting angry.
Yeah, anger becomes
The pattern
judgment,
I was
and
looking
anger
for.
becomes, sort of assumptions also that they should have done this and they should have done that. So let me say, at that moment, all your chakras went haywire. And that is
True.
why that kept attracting all that you had to face in your space, because all this is sitting inside you anyway. Okay. This is the
Yeah.
understanding that comes out, that all your chakras naturally went haywire because all these, whatever I have said, whether it's assumption, whether it is, judgment, which turned into anger and which turned into, hurt because your son was not being treated well by the staff. Anger becomes control. You want a dominance, in terms of, okay, this should be like this, there should be perfection. So solar go, any heart go, third eye, whatever, crown, anything, everything went into a spin of
That I understand.
entanglement. Yeah.
That I absolutely,
And
consciously, I understand everything.
that is why you attracted all those situations which became a reality for you and for your son.
Mm.
Okay.
You're right. It's all the chakras had gone for a six, and that's why I was reacting.
Absolutely. So you were just
So initially,
reacting.
I was talking nicely, but I think after some time, I had had enough of them,
Yeah. Yeah. The crescendo
fixing me,
kept
and then
building
my
up.
anger went.
Yeah. So the crescendo kept building up, and that's where all the
Mm.
chakras went haywire, and that is what happened and became your
So
reality.
true.
Okay.
So true. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
thank you for the example, for others also to understand who's this. Uh, yeah. So now we are going to the next point, and that is, uh, as I said, these 5 questions. Anybody else would like to add to this? Because I think we should move to the next one, because every question, if you don't note what I've written there, it moves us away from blame towards consciousness.
Ma'am, last question I can answer. What lessons you have learned is to pause, feel your emotion before opening mouth. So then
Yeah. Neeti, you have become silent. Are you still speaking?
I have a question, Aarti, Bina here.
Yeah.
So it often happens that I get more angry on my parents.
Mm.
Uh,
So the past trauma or whatever goes on, I feel it is intentional. For example, I gave a file of documents to my father. Okay. He told he does not want it. I told okay, you keep it here in the balcony outside. I'm returning back in 2 minutes. Don't throw it now. So he has purposely thrown. I'm telling twice politely. He has purposely thrown. I know that he also knows. I also knows that I will get a trigger. Okay, and I couldn't tolerate, and I got a trigger. I had 2 to 3 sentences. I don't use harsh words, but I again told nonsense. This thing. What I have said does not matter,
Yeah.
and they feel angry on that also. In the sense, yeah, that is what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, Bina, in your case, because it's a long story, you have a history of it, that what has happened is it has ultimately traveled to your crown chakra because anger has become separation for you from your parents, from the circumstances, from the situations, everything that is happening in the real world has separated you from them, you from the reality, you from whatever, files, whatever, because you have converted yourself into a victim. You're into a complete victim mode. And because you're in a victim mode, you continue to blame everything and everybody around you for things not going right in your space. So, literally, from the root chakra right up to the crown chakra, all that I have mentioned, which will be there in the recording, you can see it later. You need to work on all those aspects because it's not just about them behaving. It's because your anger has become judgment. You have started assuming. Maybe you're also shouting at them. Maybe you have just ignored them. Maybe you're so hurt. You're so disappointed. There's so much of resentment in you. Look at it. It's all there because all your chakras are impacted by it. And you may have withdrawn, and maybe there is some passive aggressive behavior also in you. Okay. And so you want to also maybe punish them in some way or the other. So what do? You either fight with them, or you try to defend yourself, or you attack them. Either people or situations or job or circumstances or doctors or eye doctor or optician, anyone, anywhere you go, look at it from the fulcrum. You'll see all this happening in your life because you have not sorted out all these thoughts, feelings, emotions which are sitting in your chakras. And that is why you are feeling permanently angry with everything that is happening in your life. Okay? So you have to work on that.
Okay.
That is what it is trying to tell you. Right?
So,
let's
what do
go.
I need to recite in that case?
Sorry?
So, what do I need to recite when you say that work
So
on
we are
them?
doing this Fulsome Friday. This is for our own understanding. The site is everything is R5. Everything is R5, whatever you feel. You just need to get rid of that. Just by saying what do I need to recite will not help because it's at every level of your chakra. And I've mentioned what all they are. You can listen to it in the recording and then just work your R5 on that also. Okay? So
Okay.
let's go
Thank you.
to the next one. Thanks, Beena, for the question. Let's keep this a little humorous. Okay. So, which is the, because after every personality that comes out, just ask yourself, what is this person really looking for? This person means it could be you. So, what happens is the pressure cooker personality. What does it say? I wish someone would notice me. Psst, you come out like a pressure cooker. So that's the pressure cooker personality. Then there is a volcano personality. I wish someone would hear me. So I start rumbling and bumbling and then I come out. Okay, that's the volcano personality. Then there is the historian personality. I wish someone would acknowledge and understand my pain. Why don't they understand? So somebody acknowledge your pain, which may be coming from God knows where. Then there is the lawyer personality. I wish someone would understand me. Then there is the ghost personality. I wish someone would come looking for me. How come there are no reactions from anyone? Then there is the CEO personality. I wish I could trust life. Then there is the spiritual saint personality. I wish I felt safe enough to be honest. Now ask, what if every angry person is simply asking for only one thing? And that is love. And that is in the only language that you currently know. Look at all this. I wish I could trust life. Love life, you can trust life. I wish someone would understand me. Understand yourself, people will understand you. Love yourself. I wish somebody would acknowledge my pain. Acknowledge yourself. Love yourself. I wish someone would notice me. Are you noticing yourself first? So whether you're a pressure cooker type or a volcano type or a lawyer or a CEO or a historian or whatever, ask yourself. Because every personality is only asking for one thing, and that is the language of love. Right? So, how do we go about it? In the radical way. Very simple. I R5 my anger. So R5 we know, revive, recognize, realign, reorient, reposition. So let's go one by one. When we say revive, what are we doing? I acknowledge its presence of the anger. Recognize. I discover what it is protecting. You saw in the chakras, we mentioned all that, right? Then realign. I choose awareness over reaction. Right? Reorient. I respond now from consciousness. Reposition. I transform this energy into wisdom. Does that make sense of the R5 of anger? I tell
Yes,
you,
Aarti.
my audience is
Yes.
completely dead today. Thank you, Shalu. Thank you. Finally, they've woken up. Okay, would you like to just say it once with me? Because it's just a simple thing. So,
Yes.
yeah, just in your own mind, just say, I R5 my anger. I acknowledge its presence. I discover what it protects. I choose awareness over reaction. I respond from consciousness. I transform this energy into wisdom. Yeah? So now you know the actual R5 my anger. It will be there in the recording. If you want, I can write it in the group also. If you want it, I'll do that. And now, finally, just one final thing we need to do. This is a very cute meditation I came up with just for anger. So close your eyes. Take 2-3 deep breaths. Imagine standing before a magnificent ancient door. On the door, there is only one word written, and that is anger. Now, slowly open that door. And when you open it, inside, there isn't a monster. There is a frightened child perhaps 5 years old, maybe 15, 30, perhaps yesterday. There is one child there. Walk towards this child. If it is a small girl, kneel down. If it is someone at your own eye level, age-wise, it's fine. And ask gently, what have you been protecting all these years? Listen. Don't imagine. Simply receive what they have to say. Perhaps they say, I was never heard. I was abandoned. I was embarrassed. I was betrayed. I was frightened. Whatever comes from what they say, just fold your hands in the form of asking for forgiveness. And then, while looking at them, at the child, place your hand upon their heart. And repeat softly. With soul's love, I see you, I hear you, I honor you. With soul's love, I see you, I hear you, I honor you. You no longer need to scream for my attention. I choose to live consciously. I choose to respond lovingly. I choose freedom over reaction. Watch the child smile. Ask the child if she is ready to come with you. And as you walk out of the door, watch the word on the door slowly disappear, and in its place, a new word comes up. Awareness. Awareness is now written on the door. Take one deep breath with a smile. See the child integrating into you and return to the here and now. How many of you felt it? I'll just take another 5 minutes of yours. How many of you felt it? Nina felt it. Very good. Ruby. Okay. Anybody else could feel it? See the child? Or remove the word, even if you didn't see any child? Yamini says was wonderful. Okay. All right. So now, because we're short of time again, just one last thing. I want to leave you with one final thought. People often ask, how do I stop getting angry? Maybe that's not the right question. The better question is, who am I becoming every time anger visits me? If anger leaves me wiser, it has served me. If anger leaves me kinder, it has also served me. If anger leaves me more conscious, again, it has served. So with the learnings of Redikall, the goal has never been to create perfect people. Perfection is exhausting, let me tell you. What is our purpose? To understand anger and any other aspect that we deal with. Our purpose is to create conscious souls. Souls who pause before reacting, souls who choose understanding over assumption, souls who recognize that every trigger is also a teacher. Yeah? And maybe the greatest miracle is not that anger disappears. The greatest miracle is that awareness arrives before anger can take over. That is important. That is freedom. That is healing. And that is living from the soul. Yeah? So, ask yourself today, the person I become when I'm angry is not the person my soul came here to be. That we understand? The person I become when I am angry is not the person my soul came here to be. The person my soul is inviting me to become is, that is your question. I'll put it in the chat. The person my soul is inviting me to become is. Can you give me some answers? Anyone? Neeti says, become well aware. Okay, anybody else? Let's finish on a happy note with people answering me for a change.
Become balanced.
Sorry?
To become balanced.
All right.
That every time I get angry, to align my chakras.
Awesome. Anybody else? Come on, people. I don't want to take names and then announce that you are not participating. Other?
I mean, soothing
Yeah?
है काफी ना calm है.
Okay. So you have to learn to be a calm person, soothing and calm person, okay? That is the person the soul is inviting you to become. Anybody else would like to share? Last?
Gentle.
Sorry?
Gentle.
Gentle. Okay. Awesome. So this exercise today was us to understand that anger should not rule us. We should not become a victim of anger. We should only choose what our soul has wanted us to either learn through it, experience it, and then the soul inviting us to become what we need to be for our own greater good and to become our authentic selves. Yeah? So I hope this very different take on anger and the Fulsome Friday today was interesting enough for all of you. Thank you, Ruby. And I'd love your feedback in the group. Of course, it will be great. And as I said, it also gives me an impetus to think of topics to work on. So thank you very much. Please do write your feedback in the group. All the best and have a great weekend. No anger in the weekend. Okay? All the best.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Aarti. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Oh. How do I close it? Yeah.